everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a screenwriter's rant on How It Ends, a movie about the end of the world, starring Fred Armisen and a bunch of other celebrities, and it's about the end of the world. And this character here, she is trying to find herself on the last day on Earth. And I believe this takes place in Los Angeles. This looks like Los Angeles in the background here. And I'm kind of just not buying it. It's just, I get it. It's supposed to be a comedy. It's supposed to be quirky, and everybody's in it. Oh, Bobby Lee. A lot of funny people. And Rob Hubel, and what's his face from the league. A lot of funny people are in this. I want it to be good. I really do. But I think this would have worked much better as a play, and because the sidekick here, it's not a mother and daughter, which kind of would have been interesting. It is actually, see if I can find him, a woman and her younger self. And I'm just not buying it. It's look, I'm gonna eat pancakes on the last day. It's just not that funny. It's just not. It's missing an intensity. Here's her dad, and she resolves stuff with her dad and her supposed best ex-friend, but it doesn't. And her ex doesn't feel like anything. And I don't know who this is. Helen Hunt. Maybe it's her mom. Sweet, powerful, and emotional. It doesn't feel sweet, powerful, and emotional. It just feels quirky. And here is all the people in it. A lot of the guys from It's Always Sunny are in it. Well, two of them. Dennis and Charlie are both in it. And Charlie's wife, the waitress, is also in it. But so is Pauly Shore, Bradley Whitford, Colin Hanks, Whitney Cummings, Fred Armisen, and Helen Hunt. I mean, it should be funny. It feels like, here's Colin Hanks. July 20th is the date. It feels like a movie that, first off, that should have been a play, but also that everybody who got involved in the movie got to write their part of it, which could be interesting. And again, that to me would be facilitated better with a play than a movie, but because it just doesn't feel like the world's ending. It feels like they've got a very contrived movie plot and everybody's just participating. It feels like an acting class exercise. Oh, the world is ending, so come up with your monologue and, make it quirky and weird. And everybody's sort of out quirking and weirding each other. And not even that weird. I mean, it'd probably be better if it was really weird. Instead, it just looks mildly amusing and pathetic. and I'm not trying to, not denigrate the talent of these people. I'm sure they're very talented. But it feels like, when you say How It Ends and it's the end of the world, one of the funniest movies, and I always talk about it, This Is the End. I love that movie. Even though Seth Rogen's gone woke or whatever, it's such a fun movie, and one of the reasons it's so much fun is because they're celebrities and they're playing themselves, and especially Jonah Hill. He just comes off as such a jerk in that movie. It's so great that he's willing to do that. Michael, what's his name, Senna, is also amazing in it. They all do jerky things, and they're targeting the right demo, right? So in comedy, you got to punch up. They're being self-deprecating. They're celebrities with tons of money. That's the way to do it. This feels like they're showing off. That it's not even taking place in a reality that can happen, right? Because imagine the end of the world in Los Angeles, right? This looks like the hills where everybody has money, because you got to have a lot of money to live in Los Angeles, even if you're in the so-called middle class. The middle class in LA, you have a swimming pool, you have a house. It's probably cost you like $1 million, or close to it, depending on where you live. They suddenly announced the world's ending. First off, the cops aren't patrolling anything. The cops are doing nothing. They're spending time with their families. So what do you think the criminals are going to do? You think they're going to spend it their last days in whatever s-hole they happen to live at the fringes of Los Angeles? Do you think the gang members are going to spend their last days in their new neighborhoods settling scores, or are they going to go up into the hills where celebrities and millionaires live and take all their stuff and spend the last moments in their house, drinking their booze, eating their food, and having a great time? Yeah, exactly. So this movie exists in the mind, only in the minds of the people who came up with this. Like, you could have made this work in a suburb, like if it was a suburb movie, if you shot this anywhere else, but you shot it in the major city of Los Angeles, and it has a particular dynamic to it. And these, I can feel the shelteredness. You know, when you're talking about the end of the world, you can't ignore that, I feel. Even in a comedy, you can't really ignore it. How do you explain it? You know, I guess you could. I guess you could come up with an explanation that, you know, everybody in, you know, the bad neighborhoods in LA are too busy killing each other to go up in the hills and purge all the people who live up there. But in this day and age, I just can't even buy it. It's just not even a premise. You know, you could make this work, for instance, if you shot it in my neighborhood, a town of like 1,900 people in a New Jersey suburb. It would work. Even if all these famous people were involved, because they could play non-famous people, and there's plenty of blue-collar, middle-class people who live here. It's just not so in LA. You're too far into where things... Oh, you got something in your fur. I'll get it. You're too far in, you know, an area where there's a lot of stuff going on. So just not buying it. You know, I get what they're trying to do, but you kind of picked the wrong location, and I'm not feeling the emotion at all. I'm not feeling the comedy at all. I mean, I get it on a quirky level that here's some comedy. Oh, there's Nick Kroll. Yeah, I get the comedy aspect of it, but, you know, it's just, the comedy, in my view, would hinge, or should hinge, on the reality of the situation. And if the reality is already this pseudo-reality, well, now the comedy's undermined, right? So what are people really doing at the end of the world? I'd be spending it with my family, personally, but we'd also probably be extremely wary of where we spend our last days, or last hours, because we'd also have to be safe. So we'd want to be in a safe area. There's certain areas we just wouldn't even go to if that happened. It would be a problem even getting together, because we kind of live a little ways apart. But, you know, this just feels like a bunch of hipsters doing a movie about them and their hipster friends, and doesn't really connect. Even the scene with her dad, I mean, they're going to die. You know, you're seeing your parents for the last time, and there's no tears in this movie. And I get it, it's a comedy, but the only one who looked like they were serious about this entire thing was Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt looks sad. Everybody else in this movie looks happy. And I guess that can work, but it feels like, again, it feels like an acting class that's doing its final performance or something. Oh, our final project is a movie, and we're all going to do our own piece. So write that up, and we'll integrate it. Yeah, it's not working for me. How It Ends. If you're interested in seeing it, comes out July 20th. That's it for me and Little Joan. Please check out our other videos on Bitchute and Rumble, including a Hollywoke hot take and a news blast. Definitely tune in, right, Little Joan? And we will see you tomorrow.